We have our correspondents in Washington, D.C. and Houston, Texas, following these developments. But we're going to start with Darren Lyn in Houston. Darren, just take us through what other details we know about the shooting. What are police saying?
Right now, police have updated the death toll. Unfortunately, there are 21 people who have died so far. 19 are children. As Andy just mentioned, most of them are 9 years old. This is an elementary school. Robb Elementary School in Uvalde has second, third, and fourth graders. There are about 600 kids in that school. Two teachers also died in this rampage. One of the names of the teachers was released tonight. Her name is Ava Morales. She was teaching for 17 years. The superintendent of schools announced that even though this is supposed to be a joyous time of year with graduation, that graduation for all levels are canceled. Graduation is not just for seniors, it's for second graders, third graders, all the way on up. Obviously, this is not a time to celebrate. They're also providing counseling, whether it be tomorrow or the next several days or next several weeks. They are going to be committed to making sure this community, this small community, which is about 80 miles west of San Antonio, that everyone is taken care of. This is a small town. Everyone knows each other. So this is heartbreaking to lose 21 of your loved ones, 19 of them children, 2 of them teachers. So this is a shock to the community. Right now, police are trying to figure out how Salvador Ramos got those guns. We're talking about background checks. What kind of background checks were in place? And how did he get into the school in the first place? What kind of security measures were there? So a lot of these questions remain unanswered. Texas Governor Greg Abbott said that he is committed to providing all of the monetary resources to make sure that all the law enforcement can investigate this thoroughly. And you may think, well, it's after the fact. Why does that make a difference? It makes a big difference because, as Andy mentioned, some of these shootings that have taken place over the years, the Sandy Hook or the shooting in recently that happened in Buffalo, I mean, they want to make sure, is there a motive? Is there a way you can prevent this? Are there gun control checks in place? So a lot of this is going to be investigated. Governor Abbott is committed to making sure they find out and get to the bottom of why Ramos did this rampage at this school.
Darren, it's difficult to imagine what the people of this small town are going through at the time. What's the reaction been from that town and the surrounding areas?
It is just shock and disbelief. And I know those are just common words that people use, but I'll tell you, my wife is a second grade teacher here in Houston. And when she heard of the news today, I mean, everything went through her like, what if that were my classroom? So you don't have to be in Uvalde to feel it in your heart and feel it in your soul that you sent your kids to school today and now they're not coming home. Governor Abbott said this today. When parents drop their kids off at school, they have every expectation to know that they're going to pick up their children when that school day ends. And there are families now who are in mourning, and the state of Texas is mourning with them for the reality that these parents are not going to be able to pick up their children. So if you can imagine, just put yourself in your shoes, of their shoes, of are you the parent? Do you have a nephew, a niece, if it's your own child? This is why they're asking for prayers, not just from the Uvalde and San Antonio area, but around the country and around the world.
Prayers and actions needed indeed. Darren, thank you so much for that update.